We're live. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Soul System. I'm just going to go on my phone and just make sure I can see us on there so then I can see. I think comments come through to here, actually. So that's good. Just make sure we're live. It's saying we're live. We're live. Right, good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Lunchtime Live with the fabulous Angela Todd. You will all know everybody. Everybody must know Angela already because you're a very active member in the Soul System, which is amazing. You're in the top 10, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I was in the third pole position at the moment, so I've got a little bit of work to do to get up to number 1.
You weren't very happy with that, were you?
No.
So it's amazing to have Angela here. And Angela's had a very busy morning, haven't you? Tell the guys what happened at 10 o'clock last night.
Yeah, 10 o'clock last night, the media decided to announce that the property market was back open today. We kind of knew the guidelines were going to be given to us today, but it's kind of sent, I think it sent employees and customers up and down the country into a mass frenzy. So yeah, it's been a bit crazy morning this morning. So it's nice to chat something different.
Yes. So thank you so much for being here because you're obviously extremely busy. So I can see people on this session just with this new system we're using. We can't see names, but the lovely Jo is here, and Jo is going to be capturing tips and notes for us as we go through. So anyone who wants to watch it afterwards or watch it on replay or just get the tips from the notes, really, she'll capture them as we go through, which is fab. So today's session, so we've been talking around Monday, we had Nadia where we're talking about children and parenting. Yesterday, Tara was talking about how to manage working in corporate, working from home with 2 children. And today, your Angela's here to talk to us about you're a grandparent. And
yeah, way too young to be a grandparent.
You are. You do not look like a grandparent. What's your name? Tell everyone what you're called.
I'm Angela Todd.
No, what do your grandkids call you?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said what am I called? I was going to say. So I've got Charlie, who's age 10, a little girl. I've got Rue. She's actually really called Riley, but she's been called Rue since conception. So that's her little nickname. So she's 6. And then I've got another little gorgeous little girl who's 3 in September called Frankie.
Oh, how amazing. So you're struggling not being able to see them and cuddle them, and so just talk to us a little bit about how that's been for you over the last 7 weeks now.
Yeah, 7. The first 3 weeks of lockdown, I wasn't going to be in the country anyway, so I kind of mentally just said, right, if I'm in the house, I wasn't ever going to be able to see them anyway because I was going to be on holiday. So that's the kind of mentality that I adapted through them first few weeks. The day before my birthday, which was the Sunday, the 5th of April, my son brought them round just to socially distance, drop my presents off. And the middle one wanted to kind of run straight up the house, up the path through the house. And I had to stop her. Now, they have their own bedroom here. This is like their safe haven. I spend a lot of time with them ordinarily. So, to be honest, the look on her face at that point, I don't think I will ever forget to my dying day. It was just that of fear, not understanding. So she just sat on the little wall, just looked really forlorn and sad. And my heart broke a million pieces. But I couldn't show them that. So I just had to kind of quickly, adapt and reassure them that we were safe and this was temporary. I got some music on my phone and I was like, reassuring them that it's really nice to dance and play music when we're unhappy. So we had a bit of a dance on the street and I got the bubbles out and kind of washed them down and put them on the wall for them. And they had a little, kind of moment of fun. And I think that for me was the realization for them how hard it had hit that they weren't able to come into Mama's house and, just do what they normally do, which is have fun. So that was heart-rendering, to say the least, to her.
But I love that you then made it, it's like you did have a distraction and that you still made it fun, just in different circumstances. Because how have you and your son like talked, helped them understand? Because that's one thing. Like, they're so young. How do you help them to understand so they're not afraid? So
yeah, well, they're all on 3 different age levels, as I've just said earlier. So the smallest one, Frankie, she kind of calls me naughty mama anyway, because I think for the last 2.5 years I've kind of gone in, picked her 2 older sisters up, and we've gone off and had fun. Nothing that anything against her. It's just I work full time, run a business, and sometimes having 2 older ones and a baby, it's quite challenging. So she hasn't always been around. So she calls me naughty mama. But then Rue, I think being 6, was at the age where she didn't quite get it. Yeah. Charlie being 10, at that particular time when they were on my path, the day before my birthday, she was like, oh, coronavirus, it's spoiled me life. And I just had a chat with them there and then and said, look, baby, this is temporary. This isn't. You are safe in the confines of your own home, you know, with family. Mama's safe, Granda's safe, Nana, everybody you love, all your friends, your family, we're all safe. This is just temporary. So what we have to do now is we just need to take day by day and literally just make sure we have fun. And when we are feeling sad, we put the music on and we dance. So it was just, and at that point, I think they then realised that, you know, they were safe, which was really nice.
Yeah, I love that, because I think we forget, don't we, that the children, and they're picking up on energies and they're picking up on vibes, and they'll be confused and wondering what's going on. So I love that way of approaching it with them. So it's temporary. This too shall pass.
Completely 100% is. You know, I've missed them. I've just been on the phone earlier on to their mum, and I just said, I can't wait to squeeze them so tight. And I know that time will come, but in the meantime, I have to be selfish and I have to do what we need to do and keep them safe so that I can get to that point of being able to squish them. But I think I'm fortunate. I don't live that far away. So I have been able to go past their door, and I stand outside and I squeeze them and I cuddle them, and they do the same. And I say, can you feel it? And so we kind of telepathically send hugs to each other, and the glee and like the enjoyment on their little face when they do that. And I've stood on their doorstep and we've danced and jumped up and down to get the vibe going, and I read them stories over. That can be sometimes quite difficult because telly's in the background, little one's kind of dotting around everywhere, but I try my best where we read bedtime stories to them, to me. So yeah, it's just not been nice, and I totally sympathise with anybody out there who at the moment isn't able to see their grandchildren, because it's, you know, they're the light of our lives, they're my world. So it's going from not being able to see them or be able to see them but not touch them. It's really hard.
Like I haven't got grandchildren yet, but I have got a grand fur baby, and I know how I feel about Holly's dog. So literally, like it's his birthday today. He's 1, Kobe, but I have heart pains about Kobe because it's Holly's dog. Like, it's just the most, and I don't even really like animals. So I can't imagine what it's like when it's actual human beings. So, and for you, Angela, as well, this is compounded by the fact that you haven't seen your husband for how long?
Oh, now you might get the tears. My husband went off to sea in January, mid-January. He was due back on the 24th of March. So for anybody who's not met me or doesn't know my story, basically he was due home on the 24th of March, and then we were flying off on holiday on the 30th of March to celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary and my 50th birthday. So he's now still stuck overseas, bless him, with no idea of when we're going to get him home, if I'm honest. Could be July, could be August, we don't know. But ultimately, we've ended up spending them milestones are completely apart, and I'm solo isolating. So it's been challenging, to say the least.
So not only are you not able to see your grandchildren and give them a squish, and you're a cuddly person, you love hugs, then also Trevor, you haven't seen him since January. So, and Angela is just such an inspirational lady. So for other women or in your position, that you could be quite understandably on a Debbie Downer, having moments where we all do, where we feel a bit sorry for ourselves, and really finding this time like a struggle and really hard, and you own your business and you've had to follow your teens. Like, you could have approached it that way, but being you haven't, have you? So I would love for you to share with everyone what you've been doing over the last 7 weeks, or since January as well, like to keep yourself, we call it an 8 out of 10, don't we? 8 out of 10 for being happy. I'd love for you to share with everyone, even though you've got all of that in your way, how you have approached it, because it's been inspirational.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, obviously early, well, 24th of March, we closed the office up. I absolutely bawled like a baby when I closed that office up. It was that realization that this was really happening, and the business pre-lockdown was in development and growth mode. So I had just said yes to quite a lot of things that we were going to change in the business, new CRM systems, new websites. We were looking for new premises. So, you know, when you're up there and everything's rosy, husband coming home, we were going off to Everest Base Camp. Let's not forget, I had an epic trip ahead of us to celebrate our milestones. And then 24th of March, we were closing the office, furloughing the teams, and life just kind of imploded inwards, and I bawled like a baby that night as I was locking the office up. I sat at my desk and it was just like, what on earth has just happened? This last 10 days was like just an emotional roller coaster. The anxiety, pains in the chest because of the unknown. We didn't know whether we were going to go on holiday, whether the husband was going to come home, whether the business was going to be, every day and every hour was just changing. So I think when I left the office, I drove home, and I think at that point I just said, look, you were just about to climb a mountain, a big one, Everest Base Camp. It's probably, well, it is the biggest mountain in the world, but Base Camp, you know, is an achievement in itself. So I kind of just approached this as a new mountain and thought, I've got a new mountain to climb now, and I've got a new challenge, and I'll help as many people through that challenge as I possibly can. And I kind of made that decision driving home. So wiped my tears down, got in the car, made that decision, got in the house, and I was just like, right, okay, so I need a structure. And that's when things started kind of rolling from there. Put my arms around the community and said, how can I help you? So I've helped innumerable, you know, other local businesses through their struggles, as well as sometimes people I don't even know over social media, you know, just helping them through their day. But putting structure, I think, helped, you know, making sure that I kept up with my exercise, challenging myself every day, even just to like fill in a jug of 2-litre water up in the morning with fruit, and challenging myself to make sure I drink it every day. Yeah. Getting dressed, putting earrings in, you know, perfume, makeup, every single day has been that process. Yeah. And of course, strategizing within the business and helping all of our customers, and quite often customers from other agents as well who have not necessarily had the help that they've needed or the support. So yeah, I think consistency for sure, yeah. You know, to help deal with the challenges, and remembering that this is a choice. We've got a choice as to how we attack our days. We can either wake up and wallow in our own self-pity, and don't get me wrong, I've had a couple of days where I've kind of, you know, woke up and felt, oh. But, you know, just get up out of bed, put the music on. That's been brilliant. Put the music on, get the vibe going, get in the shower, have a bit of a sing-song to myself, and just set the tone for the rest of the day. And it's just, here we are 7 weeks later. And just keep on going. As I say, it's just a new, different mountain and a different challenge.
I love that. I love the fact that it's, because Angela would literally like been doing your Fab at 50, Fit at 50, Fab and Fit at 50 we'll call it, challenge for like a year. So like this thing, this trip, this climb to base camp celebrating anniversary, being 50 was a monumental thing for you and Trevor, and you put so much effort and time in. So I think that the fact that you were able to, and this is about going through the change curve, that you were able to get through the change curve, go through your emotions and get to acceptance so quickly, because it could take people weeks, days, months to do that, and accept the situation is the new norm now, because you will get to do that in the future. But like the fact that you did that in such a quick space of time, and then have turned your focus and energy intentions outward to see how you can inspire and help others is absolutely like phenomenal. It is.
I think, you know, you asking me on today, I kind of sat down last night as just, you know, before I went to bed, and I was writing notes down, and I actually looked and I thought, blimey, what a 7 weeks journey I've had, because I've not seen it from, I've had lots of people messaging us saying I'm been such an inspiration and I've helped them, and, you know, and I haven't seen that because I'm just doing what comes from within. That's been natural to just want to help people. But I think at the age I am as well, I've also suffered things like grief and trauma and stress. And I think I've got the ability to recognize that and know how it affected me, so I know how to help other people as well. Yeah. So that's also helped me throughout the days, you know, just knowing that I've made a difference in somebody's life, whether I've known them well or whether I've just known them from afar, and they've reached out to us and or I've gone to them. It's made such a difference in my days. Well, I think contribution, you know, I've raised money for charity. I did a burpee challenge for Charlie and Carter Foundation. We raised 200 and odd quid within the day for them. So I think things like contribution and helping people and being grateful for what you've actually got are things for me that are core.
Yeah. And I think the point there around is just being able to, when we feeling down, anxious, upset or worried, like turning your focus externally onto someone else helps you, because you almost forget about how you're feeling because you're focused on how they're feeling. So it helps you to forget.
It's right, and this, and I've done this as a task. I've set tasks for my teams, my work teams, throughout this about, you know, our gratitudes and everything like this. But one of my my trusted members of the team, Antonia, she was feeling really poorly with tonsillitis, and I just messaged her, obviously keeping a check on her, and I just said, I tell you what, today just spend the day messaging your friends, but don't tell them you're poorly, but just ask if they're all right, because that'll take your mind off your feeling the moment. I did the same with my husband overseas. You know, he was for a good few days last week was quite down. So I was like, look, let's see how we can help other people, because that stops you from wallowing in your own as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and what have you learned about yourself over this 7 weeks?
I've asked that question every day since lockdown, and I'm yet to find the answer to that, if I'm brutally honest. Resilience, 100%. Before this happened, I was no stranger to working from home, and I was no stranger to kind of being on my own. Husband's always worked overseas for a lot of, or worked, you know, around the world for a lot of our married life. So being alone's always, but not being able to go out to the shops and not being able to go out and, you know, take my grandchildren to the caravan or have something to plan for. I've spent the last 3 or 4 years running away, you know, just, so I think probably what I have learned is that I'm comfortable in my own skin and I'm happy. I don't need all of the things that I was chasing all of the time to make me happy. I'm actually a genuinely happy person and happy where I am. So that's probably the biggest learning, that we don't need all of the things we think we need to make us happy.
And that's humongous. That's a massive realization, isn't it?
Yeah, because prior to that, I did used to run away and, you know, I used to go to the caravan for the weekend and just to chill out. But I think secretly I was kind of running away from various different things in my life. And now I'm just kind of like, you know what? My house is quite nice and I'm quite all right. You know, it would be a lot better if I had my husband home and I was able to go out and, you know, see my grandchildren. But yeah, I think that's probably been the biggest learning.
Which is amazing, because if you think back to at the start of the lockdown, how we think we might approach, like if somebody came to you and said, right, you're not going to see Trevor for 7-8 months, you can't see your grandkids, you're not going to be able to go into work, you're going to be in the house on your own, isolated on your own for your 50th birthday,
not in the teams,
Piptic base camps cancelled. Like, how will you, what would you have thought would the next 7 weeks would have been like? If somebody came and said, oh, that was going to happen to you tomorrow, what would you have responded?
I have no idea. I probably would have just said, right, I'm going to bed and wake us up in 7 weeks' time. Put the cover over us. Because that's what a lot of people have done, haven't they? They've kind of, you know, they have, and that's what I've been able to see in people and recognise and pull them out of their days like that. But yeah, if somebody had have said to me, and this is how quick it happened. I mean, on Sunday, I think it was the 15th of March, I had a really good day. I was surrounded by lots of love, lots of friends. We had a really positive day that we'd been to attend, a motivational day. And I was up there. I was just like the happiest, you know, I had so much to look forward to. And then I woke up to the news the next morning. And by the time I got into my office, I was like, oh, something's away here. So, and then literally within like 8 days, my whole world just like turned on its side, upside down completely. As did everybody else's. You know, I'm not alone in this. I've said all the way along, you know, we're all in this together. You know, there's not one person not affected in any way, shape or form. I think my biggest mantra as well is you don't have to be infected to be affected, because I do think the mental health issues that are going to follow the COVID-19 pandemic that we're all in, and looking back in history and reading the stats about, you know, various other world pandemics and how that's had trauma and ripple effects for people, you know, in the later lives. That's what worries me, you know, and how can we help people to minimise and reduce going through such trauma like this.
I love that. What was that tip you said, just so we can capture it? You don't have to be...
You don't have to be infected to be affected.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I run an estate agent, and I said to my team this morning, you know, it's really exciting news. The government have said, yes, we can get back to work, but we can only do so within the realms of the guidelines. I want to analyse it, you know, make sure we're not taking any calculated risks. But at the same time, that's why we do what we do. We help people. It's not about the bricks and mortar. It's about helping people with their life goals. And that's how I've always trained my teams. It's not about the house. It's about what the customer's plans are and how we can help them achieve that. And that's probably tantamount to the success that we have in business, because we've always adapted the business around that. But that's how I'm looking at this now, is how can I help people through this trauma, you know? I know I'm going to get cuddles off my grandchildren. I know I'm going to get, you know, hugs and be reunited with my husband. Long term, what's the damage we're all going to have from this?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I'm just going to flip through the comments, Angela, just to see if we've got any questions to answer as well, because honestly, the 30 minutes just flies by, doesn't it?
To the time.
So one lady is saying, oh, Suzanne, my first grandchild, so we used to work with Suzanne. My first grandchild is safe in his mummy's tummy. Good. The challenge not being able to hug my daughter, feel that baby moving in her tummy, has been for me really hard, upsetting, and an emotional roller coaster. Yet she's been remarkable, and watching from a distance, her protecting the baby is blown us away, and the relationship's even stronger. Oh, that's lovely, Suzanne.
That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. One of the things, and again, when obviously our grandchildren were, when we were told our grandchildren were on the way, I'll be brutally honest, I cried. I was like, why are you having children? You're too young and you've got your life ahead of you. And then as the baby was kind of, being cooked, as they say, I didn't allow myself to fall in any emotional attachment to the baby, because until they were here, I didn't want to put myself at risk and that's just maybe I've just got that coping mechanism, because underneath I'm soft as clots, to be honest. So I think I just have a coping mechanism that protects. So I totally get that though. But yeah, I'm so pleased it's helping with the relationship with the daughter. That's beautiful.
Oh, that's lovely. And a few people were saying it's emotion when you were saying your heart was breaking when you couldn't, when Rue's little face.
I'll never did it. Never.
Did. Alison saying heartbreak when you come with them, but just somebody just said you've helped me massively and is still helping me massively. That's lovely.
Alison's my friend in Derbyshire.
So yeah, she is, isn't she? Yes, she's thank you for being with us today. So right, what is the so when people, because we all do it, we get up and we think, oh God's sake, another day where I can't see my family, see my grandkids, do whatever. What is your top thing for getting out of the funk? If they wake up as a 2 out of 10 because they're on a Debbie Downer, what is your top tip for getting them to an 8, 9 or 10?
Acknowledge they're on a Debbie Downer, but then tell themselves that literally they've got this. I'm going to make the best of this absolute day, because you know what? I can. And there's not many people can at the moment, in terms of, people in the nursing homes and people who have passed away from the COVID-19, not just from all of the other diseases, let's not forget, that are going around the world, at the moment. So we owe it to these people. My mum, I lost her 5 years ago. I live every day for her, because she can't ever live that day again. So I think you need to just get up, attack the day, write yourself a list. I love lists, goals and lists. In fact, I've just received a book today and it said, a goal is a dream.
With deadlines.
With a deadline. So if you, the night before, write yourself a little list of things you're going to do the next day, whether that's going to be clean the beds, hoover up, make yourself some nice nourishing food, nourish your mind and your body with healthy things. I've not had the media on my TV for 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Just haven't watched the Prime Minister's speech, and what I've been gleaming is from the World Health Organization and the government guidelines. Yeah. But I will not listen to the news. So nourish your mind with really nice books, jigsaws, crossword puzzles. Get yourself into the here and now and not worry about what's in the future. I can't worry about the business. I've said this to the teams. We'll deal with things step by step, because if I'm sitting worrying that, what's going to happen, I'm putting them at risk as well. So I need to secure, all of our teams' jobs and employment and make sure they all come back. So for that, I've got to make sure I'm fine as well.
Yeah.
But write your lists. Nourish your mind and your body, drink plenty of water, reduce the alcohol content. I've been known to have quite a, I don't drink a lot, but when I do, I like a drink. So I'm not saying don't drink, but don't use food and drink as your comfort, because that'll lead you down a path where ultimately you're not going to light yourself down the line.
Yeah.
That's an even bigger hurdle to have to overcome. It's a vicious circle. So, yeah, live in the here and now, nourish your mind, nourish your body, exercise, be grateful. I've been listening to the birds, watching this, the blue skies, just being really grateful for what we've got.
Love that. Be present.
Completely.
Right now, we're happy. Right now, we're healthy. Right now, X, Y, and Z. That's amazing. Thank you so much. So many tips. Jo's been capturing all the tips. It's like she's on tip number 17. I think.
Can I give one last tip?
You can.
If you're in the soul system, dive into the soul system and take note of what Donna and Cheryl tell you as well. because they've got a lot of credit that I need to give to them as to how I am right now. And I'm not going to end this without telling you. Didn't ask us to say that, and you haven't paid us to say it, but I'm not going to end this call without actually giving you two guys your credit that's due for helping me as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. You're our superstar client. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching. And if you're getting a hashtag replay, please put your comments in. And yes, tomorrow we have Sarah McKenna, who is going to be talking about running a recruitment business and also how she's managing that and having Molly and working from home and yeah, the balance. So thank you, everyone. See you later. Thank you, Angela.
Bye. Good luck. Bye. Bye. Bye.